so lesson 50, we get to learn completing the square. How exciting.
Purple.
You know what? You said blue, though, didn't you?
No, I said purple.
Oh, you said
She
purple?
said blue.
I thought I heard blue first.
No, it was purple first.
No, stick with blue because it's Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, because Christmas is the first thing that comes to mind when I hear blue.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we are covering. Oh, that is not an O.
Purple.
Let's try that again. Completing the square. How very exciting. Whoa, hi. So, completing the square is a technique that we use when we're solving quadratic equations. Quadratic meaning that we have an x squared term. An equation meaning that there's an equal sign in there somewhere. Pretty exciting stuff, huh? There's a technique that we do here. The technique is called completing the square, and it has to do with what you do with the numbers. Do you remember from a couple lessons ago that one way that you can solve, let's say we have an equation that looks like this. What would you do? What would you do next?
Move it over. Do the radical.
Do the radical thing?
Switch it.
Okay, yeah.
Purple.
There we go. Boy, Sophia's out to thwart you guys in your dreams of purple, huh? So, in order to get rid of the 2 in the exponent, we're going to do the opposite of squared, which is square root. So square root, anything you do to one side of the equation, you have to do the other one. And also, anytime you take the square root of both sides of the equation, you have to remember to do plus or minus over here on the right.
Yeah.
Then what happens? The square root undoes the squared, and so we're left with just the x minus 3. And and we have plus or minus, what is the square root of 4?
2.
Good job. And we add the 3 to both sides. And we have x equals 3 plus or minus 2. And some people want to stop right there.
No, you can do it.
That's right. If you can combine these, please do so. So actually, what's 3 plus 2? 5. And 3 minus 2.
Yeah, good job.
So there's our 2 answers for that. Now, what we're learning today is when it doesn't work out so pretty, and what to do instead. So here we go. And in some ways, the best way to do this is by example. So,
Arms!
The orange was giving out, so I took it out, so we don't have an orange
Red.
anymore.
Oh man, I'm disappointed.
All right, so here's what we do. Let's take this example here. X squared plus 6x minus 4. The steps that we're going to do here is, well, first of all, can we factor this?
Yeah.
How?
X doesn't work. Why not? Because you can't form.
Don't worry, you can do it.
You can't do it.
Oh, man, okay. And that's partly why we have this technique of completing the square, because we can't always factor those. Whereas completing a square, you can use every single time. So here's what you do. The first thing we're going to do is move the number to the other side. Kind of get it out of the way. So let's write the steps over here so you can jot this down. Move the number to the other side, or to the right side. Now, what we're going to do,
Blue. It's only because it's easier to say and it's shorter.
I'm still hearing red before purple. So here's what we do. We're going to take the coefficient of the x term. And I like to include the sign, and I'll show you why in just a second. We're going to take the plus 6.
Green. Dude, you guys called the same color.
So we're going to take that plus 6, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to divide by 2 and square it. Just smile and nod. This is what we're going to do. So what do we have here? Is positive 6 divided by 2 is?
3.
Positive 3. And we were squaring that. And what is positive 3 squared?
9. Don't
9.
even think about it.
That is
My
So
arms
here's
hurt.
what we're going to do. This 9 here is what we're going to add 9 to both sides of the equation. So let's write down what we did here. coefficient of x term, which sounds like it should be a video game or a spaceship fighter, whatever. Take the coefficient of the x term, divide by 2, and square it. Let's be a little consistent with color here. Square it, and whatever that comes out to, add to both sides.
Is the 9 replacing the 6x?
No, it's not replacing anything. We're just, we take this, and based on this number, we figure out that a 9 is what we're going to add to both sides. Now, the whole reason for doing that, and this is going to be why it's called completing the square, is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Can I factor that?
Yeah.
What does it come out to?
X. Yeah,
X plus 3
3.
times x plus 3.
Yeah.
Notice that this number here is what was inside the parentheses before we squared it. So after we took this number, divided it by 2, and got this number. That's kind of handy. And then when we square it, that's the number that we add to both sides.